Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility, for real.
WNBA players, especially Angel Reese, are now demanding million-dollar salaries from a league that reportedly lost $50 million just last year. They're pushing for NBA-level pay and even threatening to strike if their demands aren't met. Let me know if you'd like a more formal, casual, or humorous tone.
But the addition of Caitlin Clark has given WNBA players an increased false sense of entitlement. Some would say, or some would call it, false bravado.
What does it take for a struggling league to justify such massive salary demands, aside from Caitlin Clark? Do these players really have any leverage during Clark's breakout preseason? One game draws 1.3 million viewers, while Angel Reese's only manages around 406,000. The difference in bargaining power couldn't be more obvious. Let me know if you'd like a different tone or shorter version.
The WNBA players are going to strike if they have to. Oh boy. This is a league. I think that you're almost obligated when you mention the WNBA to say in the next sentence, comma, a league that has never turned a profit in its 30-year history.
This viewer gap highlights a key dynamic in the WNBA's contract negotiations, a strategy that mainstream sports media often overlooks. Let's take a closer look at what's really going on behind the scenes. Let me know if you want it to sound more dramatic, casual, or analytic.
Yesterday, ESPN proved the psychic predictions of Uncle KC right when they reported that WNBA players were demanding million-dollar salaries. If they don't get their way, WNBA players will do what entitled people do best.
They're not just asking to be paid more. They're saying they shouldn't have to feel lucky just to have a league to play and sell tickets, attract viewers, or move merchandise. Yet they're asking for NBA-level salaries. It's like demanding a CEO's paycheck with entry-level performance. If you want to make big demands, you need real bargaining power. And right now, most of these players simply don't have it. Let me know if you want it even sharper or more neutral.
For starters, the WNBA can't afford million-dollar salaries. But the bigger problem is, in order to make demands, you gotta have leverage. In this case, you need people to care about your product. If you threaten to cancel the season, you need there to be outrage from your fan base. Problem for WNBA players, they don't have a fan base.
Let's break down the numbers, and you'll see why Angel Reese's demand for a bigger paycheck feels more like wishful thinking. The WNBA recently signed a $260 million broadcast deal. Sounds impressive, right? But in the bigger picture of sports media, it's far from groundbreaking. Just look at the NWSL. They landed a $240 million deal without NBA backing, without a massive media machine, purely based on their own value. Meanwhile, the WNBA needed the full support of the NBA just to get close. If that's the foundation for demanding NBA-level salaries, it's a pretty shaky one. Let me know if you'd like a version with a more neutral or analytical tone.
The WNBA did not negotiate a deal worth $260 million. That's just another generous donation from the NBA, their primary subsidizer. When Adam Silver was negotiating the NBA's broadcast rights, he included the WNBA as part of the NBA's package, meaning if the networks wanted the NBA, they also had to take the dump. I don't know how the WNBA's financials work because they refuse.
Now you might be thinking, but I heard the WNBA made $710 million in revenue last year. Sounds impressive until you realize their actual share was only $298 million after splitting with the NBA and other partners. Let me know if you'd like to expand it further or add a specific tone, like sarcastic, analytical, or dramatic.
Years in the NBA, Michael Jordan was making around $30 million a year, which was a lot of money back in the mid to late 90s. But if you look at his impact on the league, hell, if you look at his economic impact on the entire country, Michael Jordan was severely underpaid. He should have been making $300 million a year. Even role players in the NBA, guys like Mikal Bridges, who are making $25 million a year,
and cost $30 million per season. That's the entire annual budget of some smaller professional leagues. And that's before paying a single player. covering healthcare, renting arenas, or compensating coaches and staff. The WNBA faces the same kinds of expenses as major sports organizations, yet brings in only a fraction of the revenue. Let me know if you'd like this made shorter for a punchier.
Chartered flights are $25 million a year. With the additional teams, you're probably looking at $30 million a year. Health insurance, hotel accommodations, coaches, trainers, facilities. The expenses add up quickly. Then you have to take into account that the WNBA only receives 42% of their own revenue. NBA owns 42% of the league, while private investors own 16%. So whatever revenue the WNBA generates, they automatically lose 58% of.
The WNBA isn't financially independent. Networks that broadcast NBA games are often required to carry WNBA games as part of bundled deals. So how can you demand independence when you're essentially being kept alive by another league? Expanding the WNBA only makes the problem worse. Adding more teams means more charter flights, more staff, more facilities, more costs across the board, but there's no guarantee of more viewers or revenue. It's like adding passengers to a ship that's already taking on water. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version or one with a different tone, e.g., more analytical or satirical.
Here is my biggest problem with these unreasonable demands. The WNBA does not own itself. So when players are negotiating for more money, they're negotiating for someone else's money. In this case, the NBA.
This financial reality makes player demands especially problematic. Asking for million-dollar contracts while the league is losing money is like demanding a raise from a company in bankruptcy. Let me know if you'd like to add more context. Or change the
Nika Agwumike. In past negotiations, WNBA players have been forced to feel like they're fortunate to even have a league. Girl, those days are long gone. We're not fortunate to have a league. The league is fortunate to have us. Where else can you watch bearded beauties airball free throws and dive for those nasty loose balls?
Professional sports are businesses. Compensation is directly tied to revenue generation, and that's the standard across all sports and industries. The core issue is simple. Who's watching these games? Who's bringing money into the league? Without viewers buying tickets and merchandise, the financial well runs dry. Most WNBA games struggle to draw crowds. Networks won't pay premium rates for content that's barely watched. Venues can't sell expensive tickets to empty seats. Sponsors steer clear when the return on investment is minimal. Let me know if you want to emphasize certain points more.
It's not hard to figure out why WNBA players want to eliminate revenue goals. They never hit them. The current CBA sets those targets based on revenue and attendance from the 2019 season. Last year, even with the increased attendance generated by Caitlin Clark, WNBA players still missed their revenue targets. Why? Because the rest of the league can't draw flies to a fresh turf.
When players demand higher salaries, the real question is, what value are they offering in return? The honest answer is often insufficient to justify their salary expectations, which is why they have so little leverage in these negotiations. Let me know if you'd like to adjust the tone or add more.